back with Bobby and JJ Radio with our philanthropy show. We spoke with Stephanie Wiese, the Vice President of Habitat for Humanity, talked about all the great stuff that organization is doing here in the San Antonio metro area. If you missed any of it, you don't have to cry. You go to bobbyandjjradio.com, be a fan of our show. We actually have the uploaded audio every Monday on our on our Facebook, on our Instagram, and our Twitter. And now we're gonna shift gears. We're gonna speak with Miss Marina Gavito. She's the Executive Director of TechBloc. Marina is a native of San Antonio, which is pretty rare. She's a graduate of St. Mary's University and obtained her MBA from DePaul Kelstad Graduate School of Business in Chicago. I'm hoping she's not a Chicago Bulls fan, but we'll get to that later. And she's is on the St. Mary's University Alumni Association Board of Directors, the New Leadership Council Board of Directors, and is part of the Leadership San Antonio Class 40. Very impressive stuff, Marina. How are you doing today?
Good.
Thank you for joining us in Bobby James Radio. So let's talk a little bit about this TechBloc stuff. What is TechBloc?
TechBloc is a newly formed organization, and we are really unifying the tech community in San Antonio to advocate for issues that we care about.
Sure. So give me an example of some of these issues.
So a hot topic is Uber and Lyft.
Yeah,
With our city leaders kind of chasing them out, that really impacts tech companies' ability to attract people to come work for the Rackspaces of the world, the Pure Ones of the world. And so, we're working now with city leaders and Uber and Lyft to get everybody back to the table and say, hey, let's work this out.
Sure, yeah, because so you're saying when we're talking about recruitment of talent here in the San Antonio area, when we're trying to get people to come that live in D.C. or they come from Boston, San Francisco, and San Diego, they're used to these amenities of a city, which is like Uber and Lyft. And so if we don't have that, it's harder for them to get that talent. And so we become what we call the San Antonio brain drain, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it when they arrive on to our airport, they pull up the Uber app and they see that we don't have Uber. We almost become like a second-tier city in their minds. So
absolutely.
It wouldn't be the only reason why somebody would move to San Antonio, but it's definitely a factor.
Yeah, it's a plus for sure. So go ahead, brother.
So what are your main focus points for TechBloc?
Right now, we have 3 focus areas, and what we're going to do is have an event and say, hey, we're going to focus on these 3 things. At the next event, we're going to say, here's where we are on these 3 things, and then say, what are the next 3 things we're going to focus on? We're not going to try and boil the ocean. We're just going to activate on the stuff that we need to. So our first 3 focus areas was, 1, to bring rideshare back. Bring Uber and Lyft back to San Antonio.
Right.
The second one was right now what we're calling to create a tech deck. We're actually just kind of taking this good idea from Austin. They have this website that has all this good information about Austin's tech scene. Who are the startups in town? Who are the venture capitalists in town? Who are the startup-friendly lawyers? Where are the meetups happening? Where are the co-working spaces? And they just have all of this information organized and on one website. So that's what we're trying to do. And
sure.
And in this process, I found that San Antonio has a ton going on. A ton. And we have a ton of startups. Yeah. We have a ton of cybersecurity firms. We're just not really good at telling our tech story,
Right.
And so we're just getting organized and
Geekdom. We have a bunch
We have Geekdom. We have a ton of great things. So we're getting organized and putting that on a site. And the third thing was to have really good events. I mean, our first event, we were planning that maybe 200 people would show up. We had 800 people packed at the Southerly at the Pearl.
Wow.
So again, our 3 things was, first was rideshare, second was this tech deck, tech website, and the third was events.
Sure. So how or who got this TechBloc started?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, probably I would say maybe 4 or 5 months ago, a couple of people in the tech community were just getting together and saying, hey, we're
we got some problems to solve.
Yes, about
my Wi-Fi's down.
About the direction the city's headed, and so let's do something about it. And I think it was a critical point because people were agitated just enough to want to act, and so we knew that there was probably other people like us, and you actually just saw this crazy momentum where somebody would say, yes, and I'm going to give you X amount of dollars to go do that, or yes, I will do your website for free, or yes, I'll do your branding for free. And so we said, okay, I mean, it just started organizing, and we're like,
right.
Okay, let's have an event, and let's just see how many other people in San Antonio feel the way we do. And that event just ended up being this crazy, massive crowd of millennials, of the tech community in San Antonio, of our city leaders, all joining together, packed house at the Southerly, and we all said we had the same mission in mind, and that's to move San Antonio forward and make San Antonio seen as a tech city on the national level.
Which it really is.
So do most of your ideas come from, I know you mentioned Austin earlier, do they come from different cities or just issues that we're having currently?
Yeah, they come from all over, you know. I mean, the tech community, and it's not just the tech community. There's several people with accounting firms or marketing firms or lawyers who all want this for San Antonio as well. So they're just as much a part of TechBloc as somebody from Rackspace, for instance.
And who do you want to? Who's your main audience you're trying to reach out through TechBloc? Like,
so
who are you trying to reach out to?
We're definitely kind of focused on the millennial crowd, but also just anybody in the tech industry or anybody who really wants this for San Antonio. You know, I like I was mentioning, you know, there's several lawyers or marketing firms who are saying, yes, San Antonio needs to do something about this. Right.
Yeah. So how can people get involved, or how can they contact TechBloc or get involved in the whole TechBloc?
Yeah, if they go to www.satechbloc, techbloc.com.
They can get all the information there?
Yep, there's a Join the Movement tab.
And you guys are on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter as well, I assume?
Yep.
Bobby's still on MySpace.
It's me and Tom.
Yeah, him and Tom are the last ones left.
Y'all are hanging out there.
We're hanging out.
But satechbloc.com, get involved. This is a cool organization. We're going to talk to the Ferrari Kids right when we come back. This is Bobby and JJ Radio.